Hi everybody, it's Adam with HeartValveSurgery.com, and today we're learning all about mechanical heart valve replacements. I am thrilled to be joined by Dr. Aqeel Sandhu, who is the surgical director at the Bluhm Cardiovascular Institute Northwest at Northwestern Medicine. During his extraordinary career, Dr. Sandhu has performed over 7,000 cardiac procedures, of which many included heart valve repairs and heart valve replacements. Dr. Sandhu, we're going to be talking all about mechanical valves, but to get started, can you help the patients out there understand when and why you wanted to become a cardiac surgeon?
You know, it started very early in life. I was 8 years old when I decided to become a heart surgeon. And I think it was fourth grade. I used to dissect everything under the sun. And there was a very close family friend who was a general surgeon. And he took me to the operating room. And I got to see, open heart surgery. And I just fell in love with that.
Dr. Sandhu, I'm so thrilled that you followed through on your passion of becoming a cardiac surgeon, because you're helping so many patients there at Northwestern Medicine in the Northwestern region. Now a question all about heart valves. Can you help the patients understand why they may need to have their valves replaced?
People need to keep in mind that there are three things that can happen to a heart valve. And those three things are: one, that they become tight; two, they can leak; or three, they can do both. There are four chambers in the heart and four valves in the heart. And God made it that way so that blood would go in one direction and one direction only. And so when these valves change pathologically and become tight, or they leak, or they do both, they can hurt the heart. Even patients without symptoms can start having negative effects of these valves deteriorating that can be picked up early by their cardiologist with echocardiography. So that's one time to have it fixed, is when we see changes in the heart, even in asymptomatic patients. And two is when patients start developing symptoms.
Dr. Sandhu, how does a patient and their doctor determine what is the best valve replacement type for them?
Valves fall into two broad buckets: either mechanical valves or biological valves or tissue valves. Mechanical valves, everybody thinks about metal valves. Well, they're really not metal. They're made out of a material called carbon parylite, which is a very hardened carbon material. And it works out very well. It has antithrombogenic properties, and it makes for a very good mechanical valve. The tissue valves are either made of a pig or the heart sac of a cow. And both are excellent valves. Both have pros and cons. And you have to weigh both pros and cons of those two types of valves.
Can you maybe talk about those pros and cons of mechanical and tissue valves?
And let's take mechanical valves first. So mechanical valves are great in that they have a very long life. They will outlast the lifespan of a patient. However, they require lifelong anticoagulation. So the patient has to be on some type of blood thinner for the rest of their life if they're going to choose a mechanical valve. On the other side, tissue valves or bioprosthetic valves don't require long-term anticoagulation. However, they all have a finite life. And generally, right now, it's about 15 years.
I'm curious to know, focusing on the mechanical valves, is there a specific type of patient who may choose to have a mechanical valve more frequently?
We base our decision on evidence-based medicine. And one of the things we look at are the American Heart Association's guidelines. What's being recommended currently is that patients under the age of 50 should be considered for mechanical valve replacement. And that's in the aortic position. I should clarify that. That's in the aortic position. Patients under 50 get mechanical valves. Patient over 65 should get bioprosthetic valves. And patients in between could get either. In the mitral position, it's a little different, and the age criteria is a little higher. So those under 65 should be considered for mechanical valves, and those over 65 should get bioprosthetic.
Dr. Sandhu, a lot of times the attraction for a patient to a mechanical valve is often the durability, that this could be the one operation that I need during my lifetime. I've got to ask you, you've worked on a lot of hearts and a lot of heart valves over your career. Is that true?
It's partly true. The durability of mechanical valves is true. However, it's not absolute. And people have to understand that there is a real reoperation rate and complication rate with mechanical valves. So the reoperation rate currently is about 0.6% per year. And in a younger patient, that amounts to a 10% chance, or 1 in 10 people will require a reoperation, even with a mechanical valve, during their lifetime. The reoperation rate for bioprosthetic valves is a little bit higher, but not that much higher. And one thing that people need to keep in mind is it's not just the valve that is at play here. The actual disease and the effects of that disease on the heart, it's actually what determines life expectancy.
Dr. Sandhu, that is fascinating. I never knew that about the reoperation rates. Big question that patients have now more than ever is this idea of life expectancy for different types of valves. Offhand, do you know the life expectancy for someone who might receive a mechanical valve?
Or aortic valve replacement specifically, the life expectancy for both a mechanical valve and a bioprosthetic valve have been shown to be pretty much equal. And, this has been borne out with multiple clinical trials as well as meta-analysis. And they've really shown that the average life expectancy is about 12 years. And that's not so much related to the valve, but related to the condition of the heart, as we talked about earlier.
Real curious. My inbox is lit up with questions all about the Proactxa clinical trial for mechanical valves. Can you shed some light on what is happening with that clinical trial?
Before we talk about the Proactxa trial, I'm sure people have heard of the regular Proact trial, where they looked at reducing the dosage of warfarin or vitamin K active anticoagulants and the onyx valve. And in that trial, they were successful in reducing the level of blood thinner needed to maintain healthy lifestyle. The Proactxa trial, which looks at a different anticoagulant, apixaban, which inhibits factor 10A directly and doesn't require inhibition of vitamin K factors. The reason why that's important is because it's a pill that you can take twice a day, and it doesn't require any blood checking. So it improves patients' lifestyle tremendously. Northwestern is a big center for that. My partner, Chris Malaisary, is a primary investigator for Northwestern for that. The goal is to recruit 1,000 patients. So it's in the recruitment phase. We don't have any preliminary data on that yet.
I've got to ask you this question as we wrap up. For all the patients out there who might be considering a mechanical valve for their replacement, what is your number one piece of advice for them?
Adam, I think that's the $64 question. I think patients really need to understand that there's no perfect valve yet. And that's why it always goes back to pros and cons. Everything is a two-edged sword. There's no perfect solution yet. And it has to fit the lifestyle and the choice of the patient. And as we've talked about, the differences between the two valves, that's the conversation that the surgeon should be having with their patients.
Dr. Sandhu, I love the advice. I love encouraging patients to having those meaningful conversations with their surgeons. And with that, on behalf of our community at HeartValveSurgery.com and behalf of all the patients all over the world who are going to watch this, Dr. Sandhu, thank you so much for taking time away from your very busy practice there at Northwestern Medicine and sharing these insights with our community. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Adam. It's been such a pleasure talking with you and talking to your community. I appreciate it.
Hi, everybody, it's Adam. I hope you enjoyed that video. And don't forget, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch the next 2 educational videos coming up on your screen, or click the blue button to visit HeartValveSurgery.com.